Good day, everyone. We are Group 1, and this is our report in the good life. What does the good life mean to you? That that's the big question we are tackling today. Our group has been digging into this idea, and we are excited to share what we have found. We will be looking at different viewpoints from all over the world and throughout history. And let's get started. The good life is one of the most important and timeless questions in philosophy. It is about understanding what it truly means to live well, a life filled with purpose and moral values. Different philosophy have offered various ideas about what makes life good, from living with virtue to seeking pleasure or achieving personal fulfillment.
Now let's talk about Aristotle. Aristotle was one of the most famous Greek philosophers. He lived from 384 to 322 BC and was a student of Plato, who was also a student of Socrates. These three are known as the Big Three of Greek philosophy. Aristotle made great contribution to many areas like science, logic, and philosophy. He believed that the goal of human life is to achieve what he called eudaimonia, or true happiness, which meant living a life of virtue and purpose. The Nicomachean Ethics, or NA for short. So NA is one of the most famous writing of Aristotle. It focuses on the idea of living a moral and happy life. Aristotle believed that true happiness comes from understanding our human natures and doing good actions that help us grow as a person. In short, it teaches us how to live a good life and meaningful life through virtue. In Nicomachean chapter 2, section 2, Aristotle says that all human activities aim at some good. Every art human inquire, and similarly every action and pursuit, as though to aim at some good, and for these reasons the good has been rightly declared as at which all things aim. So, for example, we study to learn, we work to live well, and we help others to make life better. So, according to Aristotle, the good is what everyone aims for in life, and that's why understanding what is truly good help us living a meaningful life. To sum up my part, Aristotle's idea of good life is about finding true happiness, true virtue and purpose, not just pleasure. He believes that by doing good actions and developing good character, we can reach our full potential as human beings.
What is meant by good life? The good life is a life where a person feels fulfilled and live with purpose. It means being happy, growing as a person, and doing what is right. It is not only about wealth or pleasure, but also about living meaningfully and helping others. What is eudaimonia? Eudaimonia comes from the Greek word eu, meaning is good, and daimon is spirit. It describes the idea of living a good and flourishing life filled with purpose, happiness, and excellence. For Aristotle, eudaimonia means becoming the best version of oneself through meaningful actions and virtuous living. Combining the root words, eudaimonia means happiness eudaimonia, or happiness is unique to human function. Unlike wealth, fame, and honor, happiness is the ultimate good in the Aristotelian sense. Happiness is living well and doing well. Eudaimonia is a Greek word that means living well or flourishing. For Aristotle, it is the highest form of happiness, becoming the best version of yourself through good actions, strong character, and living a meaningful life. Happiness defines a good life. The happiness, however, is not the kind that comes from the sensate pleasure. If it which come from living a life of virtue, a life of excellence manifested from the personal growth to make a difference in the world. Happiness in philosophy, especially for Aristotle, is not just a pleasure or enjoyment. True happiness comes from good character or virtue, doing what is right, becoming better as a person, living with purpose. So, happiness is about living a good and excellent life, not just feeling good. Happiness as the goal of life. There are 5 goals of good life. First, materialism. Second, hedonism. Third, stoicism. Fourth, theism. Fifth is humanism. First, we have materialism. The first materialists were the atomists in ancient Greece. Democritus and Leucippus' belief is the tiny invisible units in the world called atoms or seeds. For Democritus and his disciples, the world, including the human beings, is made up of matter. Only material entities matter. In terms of human flourishing, matter is what makes us attain happiness. Materialism is the belief that everything in the world is made of matter or physical things. Even humans are made of tiny particles. Thinkers like Democritus and Leucippus believe that these tiny pieces or atoms make up everything. For materialists, happiness comes from physical things, what you can see, touch, or own.
Hedonism. Hedonism is the belief that pleasure is the main goal of life. Hedonists think that the purpose of living is to enjoy life as much as possible, because life is short and temporary. For them, what matters most is feeling good and avoiding pain. Their motto is eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. This means people should enjoy the present moment because we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Stoicism. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from self-control, wisdom, and inner peace, not from pleasure or material things. Stoics believe that we can control everything that happens, but we control how we react. To be happy, a person must learn to stay calm, avoid being ruled by emotions, and accept life challenges without complaint. Stoicism values virtue, doing what is right over pleasure. Next is the 3 main Stoic philosophers. First is Epictetus. Epictetus he was born a slave in Rome, but later gained his freedom. He became a teacher of Stoicism in Athens. His teachings were written down in books called Discourses and in Child Ruin, which give practical advice on how to live calmly and wisely. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it matters." This means we can control what life gives us, but we can control our attitude and response. Your strength is staying calm no matter what happens. Next is Marcus Aurelius. He was a Roman emperor who practiced Stoicism while ruling the empire. He wrote personal reflection in his journal to guide himself in being a good and just leader. His writings were later published as Meditation, a famous book about discipline, humility, and inner strength. Marcus said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So our thoughts shape how we feel. If we think positively and wisely, we will live peacefully and happily.
Lastly, Seneca. He was a writer and advisor who believed that living a moral life and thinking wisely bring peace and happiness. He wrote letters to his friend Lucilius about how to live better. Theism, the communication with the God. This means prayer, following religion techniques, and feeling close to the divine is the path to ultimate happiness. Second, humanism. Believe that people can find happiness through their own efforts, not through religion or God. They think that humans are free to make their own choices, create their own values, and decide what right or wrong. Humanism focuses on human freedom and responsibility, not on being controlled by a higher power. So, the theism says happiness comes from God. Then, ang humanism naman kay says happiness comes from yourself and your own actions. So, next slide. So, happiness depends on ourselves. Don't wait for things to make you happy. Then, second, not based on temporary pleasure or wealth. True lasting happiness is deeper than fleeting feelings like eating ice cream or external things like a lot of money. Third, achieve truth, virtue, reason, and purpose. Happiness comes from living according to your highest values, thinking logically, and having a meaningful goals. It it is more like ultimate value of your life as live up to your full potential as a human being. Happiness is best understood as flourishing, living a life that realize your best self.
Happiness to Aristotle. Happiness depends on ourselves, considered the highest good and purpose of life, depends on the cultivation to virtue. According to Aristotle, happiness also depends on ourselves. He considered it is the highest good and the main purpose of life. For him, happiness can only be achieved through the cultivation of virtue, meaning we must practice goodness and moral excellence to live a truly happy life. Science and technology in the good life. Science and technology make our lives easier and more comfortable. But to live truly good life, we must use them wisely and with values. Progress should help people, not harm them. Science and technology play a big role in achieving a good life. They make our lives easier and more comfortable. But we must use them wisely and with values. True progress should always help people, not harm them. Therefore, living in a good life means balancing progress with moral responsibilities.